The conclusion to the Skywalker franchise and the entire Star Wars main episode franchise has finally dropped with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. I was absolutely pumped out of my mind for Rise of Skywalker. So how was it? Well, let's talk about it. So, what did I think of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker? I really don't know. I know there's a lot of great, really cool, really exciting elements in Rise of Skywalker. But overall, there are some moments that I absolutely loved, some moments I absolutely hated, and some moments that were just mostly in between. And this movie, to be honest, if I'm gonna be honest with you guys, feels like a movie that should have been two movies. It's one movie crammed into it's two movies crammed into one movie. And because of that, you can't really get much of an experience watching Rise of Skywalker because of that. Because it feels like two movies crammed into one. But let's talk about absolutely which works, which is absolutely half of this film. I think this film is a super fun, really enjoyable, fast-paced action adventure movie with just some elements that I didn't find so keen. And do not worry, this is going to be a non-spoiler review. You are safe with me. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Okay, so let's get started. Let's talk about the cast first. Daisy Ridley as Rey. I really liked what they did with the character here. There were some absolutely fascinating subjects and some fascinating things they end up doing with her character in this film, which I absolutely loved. The actual choice of her character that they made, her big overarching, arc, I thought was fantastic. I felt the arc in this film and the way this character deals with a lot of the emotion in this film, I really thought really worked and really actually felt like something her character would actually do, and it actually felt like something her character would actually be experienced and actually accustomed to, and I actually really did enjoy that aspect of Rise of Skywalker. Adam Driver's Kylo Ren is easily the most interesting character in this film because he's not your typical bad guy. Yes, people complain that he's a bit, I don't know, that he throws a lot of tension, that he's a lot of anger issues, but it's a character because he's human. He's a person, and especially for this film, I absolutely liked the sequences that he was in, and I didn't really love so much the actual overarching theme that they decided to go with his character. There was one choice of his character that I absolutely loved, then another choice of his character that I was just like, that felt a bit out of character for at least this person. The rest of the cast really does. Leia plays a much more bigger part in this film than I actually thought. She plays a much more bigger, more broader, more important role, not just in the film, but also with the story, with a lot of the character moments. And I really did think that was where Lando is not in this film as much as you think. So if you're coming to this film for a more older, more grisly version of Lando, you're not going to get this. He's only really in two big sequences and really only in one massive sequence when it comes to the final action sequences. Finn and Poe are still really great. They have a really great dynamic still, and they still are really fun buddies, and I still really enjoy them watching them on screen. The score by John Williams is absolutely phenomenal. The new things, the new scores that we get from this film, I absolutely thought was fantastic. But the old store, the scores, the actual Star Wars theme, obviously, are just absolutely mesmerizingly interesting, which I absolutely thought really did work in this film and absolutely made it so big and important. Let's talk about the Emperor in this film, which, by the way, the Emperor is not a spoiler. He's in the trailers, and he's also in the poster, so you say, I didn't know the Emperor was in this film. He's in the poster, he's in on the marketing campaign, so he's not really a spoiler. So I'm just going to talk about the Emperor as much as I can without spoiling away. I didn't love him. It felt like J.J. Abrams said that they brought him in because they were always going to bring in the Emperor, and it's not because in Last Jedi Snoke died, and I find that a bunch of crap. I do not believe that. One, but I think J.J. Abrams set up Snoke as a very interesting character in The Force Awakens. Then Joe Johnston came in The Last Jedi saying, I don't like this character, and killed him off. And then J.J. Abrams was like, I had a really cool arc and interesting moments that I was going to use with this character, but let's just bring in the Emperor. It was just like, really, I think there was a better way you could have made that sequence, and a better way you could have done with this character. I didn't hate him or anything. The Emperor fit with the story enough, but he just felt shoehorned in at the last minute. As I said, this feels like two movies just crammed into one. This movie is super fast-paced. If you want a super fast-paced Star Wars film that never lets up, you're gonna get this with Rise of Skywalker. There's action sequences left and right. There's speed chases. There's lightsaber fights. There's laser duels. There's gunplay fights. There's big epic ship battles. There's foot battles, there's sequences, there's chase sequences, and they're all handled excellently. J.J. Abrams did an absolute fantastic job with the action, especially a lightsaber fight between Rey and Kylo Ren that we see in the trailer when they're on this kind of ocean tide. I thought was beautifully and dramatically really well executed, and this movie is really well edited. It's a really fun movie that just dives into much more deeper themes than I think a lot more Star Wars films did, and this one takes more risk than the Force Awakens. It doesn't take as much risk as The Last Jedi. It's not one of those films where every 4 seconds they pull a twist and pull a new thing out of the hat. It's not a predictable film, but there's some sequences that I was like, okay, I could have done without that. And let's get into the negative of this film, because it's a very fun movie, but it's not perfect. As I said, the Emperor just feels shoehorned in. The story feels rushed. And easily the worst part of this film for me is the story. I didn't get invested in the story as much as I wanted to. It's a very messy story. It just goes from it's a movie where our characters have to go to point A to point B. It's a very simple story, but I feel like the story felt rushed. This is a 2.5-hour movie, but it felt like this needed to be a 4-hour movie. It felt like I didn't get enough. I felt like I didn't get the full story, and I was just like, there's no Canto Bight sequence that drags from the story. It's always focusing on the actual main plot line of this film. So do not worry, Last Jedi Canto Bight haters, which I didn't like that scene either. You're not going to get a sequence like this. But my goodness, the story felt rushed. And honestly, I'm not going to spoil it, but what they did with Princess Leia was something I did not want them to do. I did not like that they did that. There were some amazing moments in Rise of Skywalker. Overall, a fantastically fun time at the cinema. It's a good Star Wars film. I don't know. I do like it better than all the prequels. I like it better than Rogue One and Solo. I think I like better than A New Hope. I just don't know. I love it. I don't love it, but it is a fun, really fast-paced film, and I'm gonna give Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker an A-. So those are my thoughts on Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. What do you think of these? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, and please do not spoil it for people in the comment section below. But if you do not want spoiled, do not look in the comment section, because there's probably somebody who just doesn't care and will spoil it. Anyway, if you guys did like this video, you guys can hit that like button and subscribe. Really does help out this channel a ton. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.